So I thought I'd get out on the bike today. I was busy yesterday. We had the horrible baby, as I call her, the grandchild, my granddaughter. So we had her overnight Friday through to Saturday. We had a few little jobs we had to do yesterday, and so I thought, yeah, I'll get out on the bike tomorrow. It was forecasting a little bit of rain, and I have just ridden through a little bit. I'm tending to ride in and out of them, and now at one time in my life, I say at one time in my life, with the Z900 and such, I would have turned around and gone back home with a bit of rain. I'm not down for riding in the rain. It gets slippy, it gets dangerous. All the manhole covers are deadly, and it just it spoils your ride basically, and you quite often get wet. But since owning this and going to Scotland and getting caught in torrential rain near Loch Lomond on like the second day on more or less new tyres, which are the Michelin Tourans Next 2s, the bike just performed. The bike just did what I guess BMW owners already know they do. It didn't give me any twitchy boom moments. It just did what it did, and I put it on rain mode, like I've just done now while I'm coming through those bands of rain. The road's bone dry now. Yeah, so I put it on rain mode, and it just plodded away like, yeah, what's next? So I'm really impressed with this bike. I've owned it just over a year now. I've no real plans to do any modifications to it, because I just think, why improve something that already works like it does? I'm not even going to bother putting a small plate on, which is one of the first things that I normally do when I get a new bike, or new to me. But the bike's that big, it just carries that number plate. Even though the UK number plates are really a bit like a billboard, you might as well sell advertising space on them. Yeah, so she just performed in the rain the other week out in Scotland, like I say, on new tyres. The only running in that they got was from me riding from home up to Penrith through the lakes, and then a bit of riding over the borders into Scotland, and then the next day Loch Lomond in the rain. But going back to what I was saying initially, at one time I would have turned the Z900 around and gone home in a bit of rain, because like I really don't enjoy riding in it, and let's be honest, it clarts your motorcycle up. It gets all covered in crap, especially if you're on country roads, because the farmers, I know they can't help it, but they drop mud and whatever all over the floor, and the rain swishes it about, makes it messy, and it gets thrown up all under your engine and all over everywhere. So I've never really enjoyed riding in the rain, because the cleaning, if I got caught out in the rain now on the Z900, I would be back home and cleaning it into the wee small hours of the night, right down to everything, which is why they probably gave me such a good price when I sold it. But this got clarted up going through Loch Lomond on the third day, I think it was, when we got to we stayed at like a caravan park, holiday homes caravan park. There was a jet washer there, so I gave the bike a bit of a rinse off after I'd had something to eat on the journey across from Tindrum. So yeah, I I gave the bike a bit of a jet wash, but I haven't cleaned it properly, so you can still see bits where the jet wash didn't quite get it. So she does need a clean, but to be honest, I'm not that prissy about her because she's such a good bike, and I see them in terrible state sometimes, covered in muck. There's no chain to oil. A lot of the engine's got guards on it and stuff, and when you do come to clean it, I find it pretty accessible. So it's not a mega problem to clean. People go on about the spokes, but I've got a brush for the spokes, so up on the centre stand, spin the wheels around and just give them a good old brushing, then hose them off again. I don't find them a problem. I thought I would do. I really didn't want a motorcycle with spokes, real spokes. Because I had them in the past and they were a pain in the backside to keep clean. But this, yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy really. So I've just passed Skipton, and I'm going to just head towards sort of Settle, maybe Gargrave, I don't know, I'll just see where it takes me. But the weather's not going to bother me. I've got a raincoat, little over jacket in the little backpack there. That's another thing. Since I went to Scotland, I've been thinking, right, okay, I had quite a bit of luggage with me. I need to figure out how to pack a little bit smaller. Even though I've got the big panniers, I really need to thin out my luggage a little bit to what I take, and maybe put it in different places so it's a little bit more accessible. I mean, I had the waterproof jacket and the first aid kit and tool kit in the top box anyway, but I also had my camera gear, some of my camera gear in there, the drone. So I need to spread the stuff about a little bit more just make it work for me, so I'm not actually taking as much gear with me, just thinning down what I do and don't use. So I decided when I came back from Scotland that I would invest in a tail pack. Now, the friend that I went with gave me a tail pack prior to our trip, but it was a bit of a faff to fit, and it didn't really sit too well, and the main strap on it didn't go under the seat on the GS. It was just a little bit too short. I couldn't even get the Velcro to touch without maybe getting another length of Velcro and using that, but a bit Fred Carney. I didn't want to do that, so I thought, right, I'll have a look at something that's. And this bag he gave me wasn't waterproof, but it had a waterproof roll bag inside it, which comes with the tail pack. So I looked online. I was looking at all the Krieger stuff, and that's expensive gear. I'm pretty sure it does its job, but it's very, very expensive when you consider that there is so much competition now for similar kit. I looked at the Rhino Walk stuff, which Amazon seemed to sell quite a lot of, and a lot of people suggested that to me in some of the Facebook groups I'm in. But I'm a little bit like, do I want it from China? I mean, probably what I've bought was made in China. I don't know. I've not really checked the labels on it. But I decided to go with an Oxford Atlas T10 tail pack, which I'll show you later on if I remember. I've mounted it on the pillion seat today, because I don't take a pillion anyway, so even if I were to mount the top box and the panniers, it would still be it would still be good to go on there. So I've popped that on this morning. Like I say, I'll do a quick look at it. I'm not going to do a full review or anything like that on it because I don't tend to do those. There's already plenty of reviews on YouTube. But what I will say about the Atlas tailpack is, I'm a bit of a paranoid person when it comes to mounting stuff with straps and bungees and what have you. I personally, I don't like it because there's too many things can go wrong. It can shift, the strap can come loose, the bungee can snap, all sorts of problems. And I used to hate packing for bike rallies years ago because quite often then we didn't have rock straps and stuff that you have today. We had to use bungee cords and a bit of twine and stuff like that. Any of you might remember sellotaping your directions to your tank in a piece of clear plastic because we didn't have sat navs. But yeah, I've always hated strapping things onto the bike like that. Panniers are a different matter because they clip in and they lock on. But I was going to go up yesterday to the bike, go to the bike yesterday in the garage and look at working out how to strap it down. That was my paranoid brain working overtime. Is it gonna fit? Am I going to be able to tension it down? But to be perfectly honest, I didn't. I had too much on yesterday, and so what I did was I just took it this morning, put it on the bike, had a quick look at the straps and the instruction leaflet. Yeah, all good, and it's on. And if I reach back behind me, it feels solid. And to be perfectly honest with you, I have not even really thought about it from leaving home to where I am now until I've just been talking about it. Whereas in the past, I'd have been paranoid as hell. Is it moving? Is it loose? Are the straps undone? That's me. That's just the way I am. But yeah, so the Amazon, the Atlas tailpack from Oxford, I got it from Amazon, and I think it was $79.99. But my son had got me a voucher for Father's Day, so I put that towards it, which lessened the cost. And then when I actually got to the basket before the voucher was taken off, the gift voucher was taken off, it was actually there was another price reduction of some sort of bonus code that had been applied, and it said £75. So that made it even cheaper after the voucher was deducted as well. So the price when I got it to till £75.99, whatever it was, so like £4 or £5 off, I can't remember, and then even more off with the voucher that I got from my son. So cheers, son. I've used that. Yeah, it seems a good bit of kit. I only got the 10 litre because I thought I only really need to store a waterproof jacket, a baseball hat, probably some spare gloves, and anything that I might pick up en route. Thought I'll leave myself a little bit of room so that I want to pick up a couple of pork pies at a nice baker's in the Dales if there's any open. I can stick a couple of pork pies in there. So yeah, it seems to be working really well. And it's just one of these bags where you just cinch it down and that's it, it's done. Right, I'm getting a bit fed up with this traffic now. If memory serves me right, you can cut through here and it brings you out near Ribblehead. Not Ribblehead. what's it called? Penigent. So I decided after the Scotland trip, which I did quite a bit of filming of, but I didn't really do any talking because I just get too distracted. It's a pretty church. See, distracted again. So yeah, I didn't do much talking because I'm concentrating on what I was doing. So if those videos are a little bit boring, I do apologise. But as I have said in the past, that my videos are mainly made for myself and family, just in case anybody wants to look back at them once I've snuffed it. They could be bored as well. I just tend to run out of things to say. Very nice bed and breakfast there. Setting the quiet road and it's busy. Not with cars though so far. Now, I can't remember how long this road goes on for before it comes out of Penigent. See, I can't remember. I think it's Penigent, or no, it is Penigent. It comes out, I think. The last time I came up here, I went to meet a friend. We were going to go up Penigent, and it was foggy as you like. It was really bad fog, and this road it's quite narrow. It doesn't look it on the bike, but it is quite narrow for when you're in a car. So the chances of you meeting a tractor or something on here are pretty high. So you don't want to go blasting into these corners around here because they are blind, and you quite often get a lot of the locals who know the road like the back of their hand, who hammer about them all day long. But it does tend to be a lot quieter than the main road, that the 65 there going up towards Settle. And that's what I mean, you can meet a car at any point on this road, and 10 to 1 they'll be going faster than you. Reason being is, I'm not a sissy, I've done all my fast riding. I don't need to prove anything to anybody, I never did. So I just want to get out on the bike and enjoy the ride, enjoy the freedom. This makes me forget about everything. It's just, like I say, being at home with a bike. And you see these things from years ago where people just, you know, hopped on the bike and went around the world. Of course, everybody and their brothers is doing it now, Itchy Boots and Sean and Emily and stuff like that. But just to get out on a Saturday or a Sunday on your bike, just you and the bike, just clear your head, you're away from work, you're away from family and friends, it's just you and a bit of quiet time, and I just love it. Maybe we'll turn left here. I haven't actually plotted anything into the sat nav. I just head up the Dales. Just hope this is going the right way. Anyway, I cut off and I'll come back with something else when I've thought something to say. Toodle pip. So I took that road that goes towards Belbusk. I said I was stuck behind the traffic, and look, I've caught a load of traffic up now, so I'm having to hang back a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm enjoying the ride, and we're coming into Malham, and there's Malham Cove, worth a visit if you ever get up to the Dales. You can see all the rocks and whatever. It's can be quite a busy place though. I like to get here early if I'm going to walk up there. There's a lot of steps up the left hand side, and sometimes water falling. It has got waterfall, but not always. It's just a beautiful part of the country. And if you're going to visit here, don't forget to park near the visitor centre and pay for your parking. Help the local economy and all that. There is a little cafe down here which is quite nice. Point it out if you can see it. The Old Barn Tea Room. That is a great little cafe. And it's open. Red velvet cake. If you get up this way, then we'll have a little stop somewhere up here. But yeah, it's quite a busy place, is Malham Cove and Malham Tarn. The cove is just what it says, it's a cove, and the tarn has got, it's like a body of water up near, then you go a bit further and I think it's called Janet's Foss. All within walking distance. But we'll not do that today, yeah. So yeah, that's Malham Cove. Then further up and beyond is the tarn. Quite an impressive place, really. I can't see the water flowing, but it has been quite dry. There's a nice little path all the way down to it. There is a farmer's path that comes through the fields, and that can be a little bit boggy if they've had some rain. But yeah, that's Malham Cove. The only problem around here is these narrow roads. You really don't want to meet anything coming the other way. Even on a bike it can be a bit tight. Probably best if we keep out a little bit. So the rocks on top of Malham Cove are all like that. All the limestone's been weathered over the years, and I'm guessing pools of water have just formed little freestanding stony bits. There you go, that's what it's like at the top of Malham Cove. Because that is the top of Malham Cove. Or further over anyway. I think we'll have a stop somewhere up here, maybe a little bit further up. The other thing you've got to watch for when you come up the Dales is the free roaming sheep. There is a lot of them about, and especially in the lambing season, which we're sort of just, I guess we're just coming out of now. But yeah, a lot of sheep walking about in the road up here. So don't be a fool, slow down, don't hit them. Make as much a mess of your car as it will of the sheep. I knew a guy many years ago, he came up this way and had his old Talbot Sunbeam, I think it was, which were quite Talbot Horizon, sorry, which were quite sturdy cars in the time. I mean, I don't think they stood up to a lot of rust, but they were quite sturdy cars in the time. And yeah, they wrote his car off and he hit a sheep ram or something like that. So yeah, don't be a fool. And you certainly don't want to hit one on a bike. It's cooled down quite a lot. It was, when I left home, it was about 21, 22 degrees I think it was. Quite humid. Now we've got 16 degrees, but like I said, we are at the top of the world, so and I chose to put on these I'm just going to swing a U-turn here because I can get some pictures. Now that's Malham Tarn. I don't know if you can see it in the distance there. Can't do a zoom in. But yeah, that's Malham Town over there. Quite windy up here. Ah, the other thing is I chose to put these on. I picked them up yesterday at Sports now then, I can't remember if it was Sports Bike Shop or whether it was J&S. One of the two. I think it might have been J&S actually. I was looking for some summer gloves, and I really wanted Merlin ones to go with the jacket, but apparently they're not going to be in store until what did he say? I think he said August 25th, something like that. I thought, well, summer's part way over then, isn't it? So I decided to go with these, and I wasn't really looking at Alpine Stars because they tend to be expensive, but yeah, I picked them up, and they're quite a nice glove. I don't know what make they are. Copper gloves it says, and I'm an extra large, so that bit there on my finger, if the gloves aren't made right, it tends to look a little bit like the man from Atlantis webbing on his hand. So these actually fit there in where my finger is, so they're quite a good glove. I think they were £40.84, which I was quite shocked at for Alpine Stars, because they're normally quite a lot more money. They're armoured on the back, a bit of padding on the knuckle there. They're quite stretchy. They're nice and stretchy, because I usually struggle with them balling up in the palm when I close my fist, but they're quite good, and they're giving me that draft up the jacket. Now, I've always been a fan of wearing gloves that are more of a gauntlet wrist on them, but these I wanted some for a while. Not this particular brand, because I thought they'd be out of the market. I'm not one of these people who'll pay like 130, 200 quid for a pair of gloves just because they've got a name on them. So yeah, decent pair of gloves so far. They're only really for summer use, so I'll carry another pair with me, and if it gets wet or whatever, I can just stick them in the bag, and away we go. Right, so just a quickie, that's the Oxford tail pack that I bought. Got a nice little bit for putting your gloves on when you stopped, and it doesn't, I mean, I might just cinch it down a little bit more. I didn't cinch it down too much because I've only got a jacket in there, but it really is a good little bit of kit. Little bit of water resistant pouch on top, but yeah, 10 litres. It's got the little clips on there and the roll out thing. It's got my jacket and my hat in at the moment, and I think a spare pair of gloves. Anyway, we'll get off before these people come, because I think I'm a weirdo. Toodles. So it's definitely cooled down up here. Those clouds look a bit angry. But if you head to the Dales, I don't think you can take a bad road up here. I mean, yeah, you can take some narrow ones, but it's all good. But any time you come up to the Dales, it doesn't matter what time of year, the season, time of day, you'll always see something else. You'll always see it in a slightly different way. There's very rarely 2 days the same up here. You know, whether it be the sun that's lighting the fields and the meadows, or the clouds, you know, passing over, or the snow in the winter, or the fog. It's just a fantastic place to come. I could spend the rest of my life up here. Luckily, I'm not a massive drive from here. I'm only about 45 minutes, an hour, if that. And I do like to get up here. I don't tend to come up these single tracks too often, because they can be a pain in the arse with walkers and cyclists and such. Come on, mate. So we're going to head over towards Hawes now, I think, get a coffee or something, and stretch the old legs. Because the other thing I did yesterday, I went looking for boots, because when the bike was loaded for going to Scotland, I didn't really want to wear my Alpine Stars, because they're more of a track boot, really. I mean, they're comfy, but they're more of a track boot. And I've noticed a few times when I've got to put my leg down, my foot down at a junction on the GS, that she can make your foot slide a little bit, because she's quite heavy. So if there's a little bit of a gradient, it can be quite tricky to keep her upright, which I didn't want to do in Scotland. You know, the risk of a bit of gravel at a junction, or you know, it being a bit wet, and also the fact that I was loaded, so I didn't want to be dropping the bike. I'm pretty sure I'm going to drop this bike, because when you're slow moving, she is heavy and you can feel it, and I ain't the strongest person in the world. My only saving grace is that I can flat foot, but even though I can flat foot, sometimes, like I say, you get to a junction and it's just a little bit off camber, and I can see why smaller people really struggle and do drop the GS's, because they're quite a high bike. I mean, stuff like the Africa Twin are high, but they're narrower. I think that offsets it a little bit. But yeah, I didn't going back to the boots, I didn't want to be going to Scotland with the Alpine Stars on, because I feared sliding it, my foot sliding from underneath me at a junction. So I went with the option of a pair of boots that I've had for absolutely years, and they were boots that were made for the Army's White Helmets display team, and they're made by a company up in Richmond called Altberg. And I've been to the shop and I had them fitted to me, but I'm guessing that I don't know whether, I can't see my feet will have grown, but when they get warm, obviously your feet do, or some feet do tend to, I mean, my feet don't sweat. I've never had a problem with sweaty feet or anything. I've always prided myself on that, but I think when you get warm, I think your feet do swell a little bit. And when I was in Scotland, the Altbergs, although great for the first couple of days and good on the junctions and stuff, like a reason I bought them for. That, by the way, is Penny Ghent. That is one of the 3 peaks on the 3 Peaks challenge. It looks good clouded in well, shadowed by clouds. But yeah, that's Pennygent. Worth going up the front of it if you want to challenge yourself, and then come down the back on the shale path. Anyway, back to the boots. So I went with I took my Altbergs, and by the third day I was starting to regret it, because the big toe on my left foot was in agony. And since I've got home, it's the nail has actually started to it's bruised underneath. So I won't be wearing those again. Definitely not. So my mission yesterday was to go out and find myself a pair of boots, and I specifically wanted more adventure boots because you get the better sole, and I prefer a higher leg boot. So I went to sports bike shop and to J&S, and I found a pair of RSTs. Yeah, RST, and I can't remember what model they are. But they do feel quite comfy, and I went half a size up on what I'd normally get due to the problems that I've had in Scotland with the Altbergs, just so I can get a pair of winter socks on as well. I mean, I've got a bit of wiggle room in these, which is what I wanted, because over time the Altbergs, like I said, they've never caused me a problem in the past. Yeah, it's alright, love, I'll slow down, don't you worry. They've never caused me a problem in the past, but around Scotland they hurt. But it was just one boot, and I can't understand why. Is that some of the most marvellous countryside you've ever seen? Just absolutely stunning is the Dales. So I got these RST boots. I think they were 149 quid. Like I say, the gloves were sort of bit of, I might get a pair of gloves as well. It wasn't a nailed on thing. I got about 6 pairs of gloves, but with this jacket I really like the movement on a wrist without, in the summer, without the gauntlet bit. Now mid-season I'd use the gauntlet, but these, when it's warm, these are really good so far anyway. But they fit, they do feel like an old pair of gloves that you've had for ages that are comfortable. That's how they feel. They're really supple. I don't know what the material is. Obviously it's mesh on the back, but I have no idea what the palm is. It might be some sort of synthetic gubbins, I don't know. It's certainly not textile. It's like a Alcantara, sorry, whatever you want to call it, suede sort of feel. So this is Stainforth. Some bimble through here. You see, when you take these routes, Get to see all these pretty little churches. I mean, look at that. I'm not a religious person, but that is a cracking little church, isn't it? It really is. Anyway, onward. So it's telling me 35 minutes to Hawes. Probably not the way I would have gone initially, but we'll follow it. It's nice to see different roads. I think it is actually a little bit nicer now it's cooled down. It's a little bit more pleasant for riding in. Because I've still got the liner in this jacket. And this jacket is really quite warm with the liner in. But at least now I've got that little tail pack where I can take my liner out and put it in the tail pack if needs be. I always think of this area as sort of the lower Dales. If you keep following this up, eventually you will come to take you up to sort of the lakes. But we're not going there today. It's quite moody, that sky. Again, like I was saying, whatever season, whatever time, day, year, whatever the weather, this place is always different. It's just a fantastic place. And there you go, that's Pen again from this side. sort of done a big loop round it. Because there's a little pub round here that, and he charges, I think it's, I can't remember, it's £4 for the day. And it's parking all day. I think it's a Golden Lion. There you go, £4 all day. So if you're feeling energetic and you want to climb up Pen again, or do the 3 peaks in general, it's £4 all day in there. Or you can be like these and park on the road and cause a traffic jam for everybody later on in the day when it's sunny and nice, because you're too tight to pay £4. A little shop there for getting the little bits that you forgot to pack for your walking trip. Pennygate Cafe. Remember, if you come up round here, don't be dumping your trash, your cans and your bottles and stuff. Take them home with you or put them in a bin. People don't want to see your rubbish. I'm not a liberal green lefty, I just don't like to see rubbish in well, anywhere, but especially in areas like this. Is this not just the most fantastic place in the world? It is to me. I know other people will have places abroad, or I really enjoyed Scotland. There's some fabulous scenery and I can't wait to get back there. But Dales is my thing. Is it just me, or cyclists are right royal pain in the arse? You always seem to catch them where you don't want to. See rain again, I reckon, but you know what, I just ain't bothered. As long as it's not heavy and I don't get soaked to the skin, I ain't bothered. And my change in attitude to the rain is all because of this bike. And I've actually left it on rain mode, but it should probably be on Dynamic Pro again now. Do you want all the road, sir? hillside. What a cute little place. Again, you come up on top and you can just see out, and it's just, you've got sunshine over there, a bit of cloud and a bit of shadow over that way. It's not sure what it's doing that way, it's just fantastic. This road here, it can fling you out of the seat a little bit. Yeah, it has cooled off up here. Wow, total change from back home. But yeah, fabulous day. Just any time spent in the Dales is great. When I was younger, I used to race through here on the RGV 250s, stuff like that, but I missed a lot of the beauty of it. I know that sounds corny and cliched, but I did. And I'm seeing things now that are like, I must have passed that 100 times, 200 times, maybe more, but I didn't notice how beautiful it was. I mean, just looking ahead, you've got these old pit cottages, I believe they were, and then just to the hills behind them is that magnificent cloud, which is quite low hanging. And then on this side, the sun's dappling through. So, what weather will you get in the Dales? Who knows? It could be 4 seasons in one day. But you know what? You'll probably enjoy it. Now you got to watch for walkers around here, because we're getting near Ribblehead Viaduct now. And they seem to think that because they're hikers, they can walk as much abreast or as, you know, wide in the road as they want. You've got to be really careful of them around here. So just look at that cloud moving across there. That is the Ribblehead Viaduct. Just breathtaking scenery. So we'll quickly look at the sign there. White Scar Caves, Ingleton, Hawes. We're going to go towards Hawes. Really is a crime to not stop and take a photo here, but so I'll have a couple of minutes. Catch up with you shortly. So I've just stopped at Ribblehead Viaduct and I thought I'd give you a look at the bike. It's a late 2017 R1200 GS Rally TE, and the reason I went for the rally colours is because I didn't want a triple black. They're nice, but everybody's got them, so I wanted something a bit different. So there she is. There's the tail pack I mentioned previously. Good little bit of kit, that. Little showerproof pouch on top. Just got my memory cards in there for the camera. Yep. That is supposedly a waterproof case anyway, but I don't know whether it is. But yeah, nice little pack that. Just unclips here, unclips the other side, and there's a cinching strap there for the roll top. It's got a waterproof liner. And as you can see, she's a bit dirty. I don't normally keep my bikes in that condition, but she's not a garage queen. Hopefully me and her are going to do plenty of miles. Anyway, with that, the road's calling, and I think possibly a coffee and Hawes. The sun looks to be out over there, so let's go there then.